Hello and welcome to this episode of the official podcast. Today we're getting extreme, we're getting edgy, we're getting over the top, and it's because Kaya, our lovely friend and host, decided to start our day with Let the Bodies Hit the Floor by Drowning Pool. And we've used that to begin a discussion just before recording of the trend back in the day of how things used to just be over the top and edgy and extreme, and every franchise would just... their next goal was always to make things rad and have attitude and in space and all that shit. No, I miss it. I miss it so much. I miss it every day.
I think that was probably the best trend in cinema where everything needed to be like totally tubular kind of shit where you take Jason
totally agree.
and like, okay, let's put him in space.
I miss when crossovers were still novel and fun. Like you guys remember... because today it's like, oh, Ant-Man is fighting Spider-Man. Who gives a fuck? More Marvel slop. But back in the day, we were like, Alien versus Predator? What?
Oh, yeah.
In the same universe? And just...
Freddy versus Jason.
Freddy versus Jason, yes.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Back when they were like giant events that had huge swaths of marketing around them.
Why did it seem way less corporate? Like the marketing and the aim was still there. Why did it seem way less corporate back then than it does now? Like when a crossover happens now, it's like, oh yeah, of course it is. Of course it is. And it's lame. But like back then it was
just so overdone, that's why.
Marvel just made it so expected, whereas back then it felt like, whoa, I can't believe that's happening, you know?
I disagree with that. I think the reason it kind of fell out of popularity is because the crossovers were just genuinely pretty bad. They just weren't very good. So people stopped.
Alien vs. Predator was great. I'll defend that movie, the first one.
Yeah, I was gonna say, do you remember the sequel?
I don't remember actually.
That was also a bad movie. Yeah, I'm trying to think of other ones, but I can't think of any that stand out as really like good. Oh man,
no, not really. Not that I can think of. No horror franchise ever, for sure.
Yeah, it's a little off that topic, but kind of in the same vein. Do you remember the trend of mashups? Kind of where like you bring everything together in a song and you like put two things together and make a new song out of two existing ones.
The big one of that I remember was Jay-Z plus Linkin Park. Do you remember that album?
So that was an incredible album. Yeah. There was just this time period where everything collabed and crossed with everything, and it was so hype. I still listen to so many of those mashups from the early 2000s, like Legion of Doom, that used to combine things like, you know, Flyleaf, Cross, Funeral for a Friend, or whatever. It's so fun. I just miss crossovers in general, not even just in movies. It was so good.
I'm a bit confused. Like, what do you mean, like, by the song part? Like,
have you never heard of mash?
You just combine two songs.
I guess not. Yeah, but like that still exists, right? Like, just go to a club. Like, is that not the same thing?
No. What do you mean? Just go?
It was a released album.
Yeah,
not like live where a DJ's mixing. It's He doesn't mean like a live mixing session.
Okay, so an actual like new bespoke song that's like a combination.
Creating a new song out of two existing ones.
Right, gotcha.
Yeah. Or just recording it from the ground up, like Jay-Z with Linkin Park, where they just sang the whole song from the ground up and recorded it.
So in that case, I don't know any examples. So in that case, is it like two, like both artists come in and they both bring their own songs in and combine it into a new song? Or is it just like...
sometimes how it works, or like I mentioned, Legion of Doom, they just took two songs, put them together, and made a totally new song out of it.
Right.
My favorite from them is Lolita's Medicine, which was combining an old post-hardcore song with Dead Poetic's New Medicine. That song goes crazy.
That's a hardcore name too, Lolita's Medicine.
Yeah,
it sounds like an Epstein thing.
Yeah, it does sound like
speaking of, let's just get into it. Okay, so behind the scenes, I'm gonna remove the curtain here real quick. So Jackson is a little pouty at me.
I'm not pouty. I just disagree with you.
So Jackson was obviously having a lot of fun with this. The entire internet is because they released some of the Epstein documents, and I just thought it wasn't really that big of a deal. And Jackson got mad at me because
so wait, let me frame it this way. I'm not having like fun with it. Like, I haven't really personally looked into it too much, but I just disagree with the statement that it's not. It's like you're saying it's like nothing to talk about, whereas I still think it's something to talk about, or something that's like happening in the world. You can talk about it.
I just don't think it's a big deal. Like, okay, what do we know now that we didn't know 3 years ago?
Yeah,
is I guess my point. It's like, oh, Bill Gates is a creep. Yeah.
It turns out there's pedophiles in the upper elite controlling the world. It's not like super surprising, but it's still like, I feel like 10 years ago, this kind of stuff would have never been released at all.
10 years ago, yeah, but it's not new from 3 years ago from the information we had.
Yeah,
it's still all the same info.
But you can't disagree that it's not just a big event in the world, though. Like, it just genuinely
it is a big event. I didn't say anything about that.
Saying.
I'm just saying. But what's annoying is, Jackson, is that like 5 years from now, someone like me is going to say something along the lines of, kind of fucking weird. We never got to like find out who Epstein actually worked for. Was he intelligence? Was he working for the Americans or Israel? What the fuck was he? And someone's going to go, what do you mean? They immediately released all the names. Everything was so transparent. They took 5 fucking years to release a bunch of redacted documents. Even the documents that they just released were redacted. Plus, I do not believe that any of the actual important people would have their names in that.
Oh, yeah.
Like, do you really think... Okay,
I agree.
Just imagine the smoke-filled room with the world's most powerful and rich man sitting there. Do you think they were, like, sweating? Like, oh, man, January 1st, they're gonna release it, guys. The jig is up. They got us. Good. There's nothing we can do. They got us. Justice prevails.
I don't think you can hold both the beliefs that Jeffrey Epstein didn't kill himself and also that this is like the full, like undoctored documents. Like those two things aren't compatible. If he didn't kill himself, if there's this grand conspiracy that people got to him in a jail cell and killed him, then they obviously would have the same amount of power in being able to release like a doctored version of events or anything like that.
Years and years later. By the way.
Yeah. So I don't think this is. This shouldn't be the end of it. I don't think this is like the end of it.
Jackson, are you concerned your name's on the list?
Do I sound concerned? I'm like fighting for the list to come out of its full glory. I want to see my name up in highlights.
I want my name on that list.
Bestie.
I want to be.
I wasn't even born then. When did this happen? This was like early 90s. I'm fine. I was a baby.
I mean, didn't this go on until he was arrested pretty much?
Yeah, what do you mean early 90s? This went on for a long, long time.
He was arrested in early 2009 on a different situation, I'm pretty sure, right?
He was arrested prior to the big one, yeah, but he didn't face anything serious.
So why did no one talk about this from back in 2009 then? He just kind of like went
again,
under the
those
radar.
are the questions we're not allowed to answer or have answers to. Like, why did the police raid his place and then leave for 4 days while waiting for a search warrant? They literally just left for 4 days. And then when they came back, shocker, all the computers were removed from the residence. Weird. What happened to all of the CDs that were in his vault that also somehow mysteriously just disappeared? They're just gone. So those are the questions I want to answer. So I don't give a fuck if Bill Clinton was on the plane. Who gives a shit? Of course he's a creep. You look at him, you're like, yeah, that's a pedophile for sure. Yeah, he'd fuck a 15-year-old. That's what's fucking shocking. But can you tell me, like, was like Mossad involved? Was the CIA funding little girls getting raped? That's what the rest of us actually want to know. Like, was this facilitated by the taxpayer money funded child porn ring? Was that a thing? No, we're not going to get that. They just throw us a fucking bone.
Does it go?
Yeah, and that's my point, Jackson. Is all we got from this was a fucking Stephen Hawking meme of him like, oh, he likes to watch midgets fucking drew calculus on the whiteboard.
To be fair, that's something though. Stephen Hawking, I wouldn't have ever expected to be on the Epstein list. I just wouldn't have.
Well, he wasn't,
was he even?
No.
Yeah,
I don't know.
I thought that was fake.
Okay, well there we go.
He was in the documents twice. So he was there once because of an email from Jeffrey Epstein saying that there's false allegations they need to prove wrong, and his name was mentioned there in that. And then the other time was as a request for more information, as someone they wanted to get more from. But other than that, that's all he appeared there. But there's photos of him on Epstein's island, so he is like
okay,
at
so
least loose.
Well, then it's not fake then.
Well, his name's not on the list or anything, but there is pictures of him at Epstein's island.
Well, good for him. He kept his name off the flight log, I guess. But if there's photos of him on the islands, you know.
Oh yeah, no, it's still very weird, but it's not like his name was in the list, and it's not like the calculus shit was real.
Yeah, I mean, there's been so many, like, as soon as the list dropped, I looked on Twitter bad idea, but I looked around on Twitter to see like what kind of information there was, and I like immediately there was just so many fake stuff, and I was like, there's no way I'm going to be able to like figure all of this out through just like browsing. I'm just going to wait. And then I never got around to it. So I don't actually know who's on the list.
The memes were funny, admittedly. They were fun, but like I said, I was hoping for a little bit more meat on the bone, rather than just a nothing burger of them just placating us, saying, yeah, here's some names. We'll throw these guys under the bus. Now shut up. Stop asking. It's Bill Gates and Bill Clinton. Shut up. The Bills. They're the pedos. Stop asking.
Are you, Charlie, are you getting tired of being asked to talk about it?
But no, I've talked about it quite a bit, and it's not like people keep pestering about it or anything. We went over it because I mean I wanted to learn more about it too. It's not like it was a hassle or anything. It's a big deal.
Jackson's apologizing.
I'm not. No, not for this. I'm talking about like on his live streams. I'm sure he gets like asked it a million times or whatever.
Oh yeah.
And once you talk about something on the live stream, and then someone comes in and they weren't there for that part, and they ask you, I can just imagine
streaming in general, though.
Yeah, that's a problem with live streaming. You can like state things a million times, and people will still come in and ask the same questions. It's just part of the business.
Yeah, it just seems really annoying.
Like I can't expect everyone to be there for every single topic, so it's not like I get mad.
Yeah. Yeah, so what? Nothing from this?
No. What do you mean?
No.
You guys don't have anything on Epstein?
Sorry, like any dirt? No. I wish
there just wasn't any like new information we didn't already know. It's just more of an insight into what was happening with what we already knew was happening.
Okay, so what happens now? Is this like, is it all smoke and mirrors? Are they like, fine, like, all right, so we've put out the document, now you guys don't have to hassle us anymore? Or is there a further investigation still happening, or what?
There's on the 22nd, there's 3 new names apparently, but we'll see.
They're fucking releasing it like DLC.
Yeah, the government paid for the expansion pack.
If we hit 200k subscribers on our Twitter account by May 3rd, we'll release the names.
They're really milking this too. Jesus. It's like, what are you looking for? Like subscribers? Just fucking tell us the names in one go.
Would it be a conspiracy to assume that like the pedophile elite that are controlling everything are holding on to it as a distraction? Like when things get really bad, then they'll release like a few more names out of their pedophile bucket full of names? Or
probably. I mean, that was the whole point of Epstein's operation, right? Allegedly, he's just collecting blackmail. So yeah, I don't know what Bill Gates did that they just threw him under the bus and constantly name drop him as one of the child molesters.
That's what I don't get. So, but there were actual names released and heavily like indicated to have been, abusive towards children. Let's say that's heavily indicated that these names have done that. So if it is like a giant conspiratorial pedophile network, why did some names get through? Like they just like dump these people who I would have assumed were part of the same network.
I just assumed they had to throw a couple of people under the bus.
Yeah, I assume there was just like overwhelming evidence of those people, so they had no choice. Perhaps
just untenable.
Aren't you risking like those people then coming out and going, yeah, there is actually a pedophile network. Yeah, I was one of them, but so are these guys. Aren't you risking like breaking up the organization?
Okay, why would Bill Gates ever admit that? Your Honor, I did it.
But so did they.
And I liked it. It's like the fucking Punisher.
It's like a fucking press release on Microsoft.com.
It reminds me of the end of like the Iron Man movie. Where he's like, "I am Iron Man," and he drops the mic and walks away.
I am pedophile. Yeah, that's empowering. But yeah, I seriously don't get why like they're just fine with their names being, well, they're not fine with it obviously, but like if it was a giant organization, why some names got through and some didn't. I would have thought they'd be powerful enough to keep it all under wraps.
Yeah, but I just assume that the world's most powerful people isn't like somebody like Bill Gates. I assume it's just somebody whose face you've never seen, somebody you couldn't even Google probably.
New World Order.
Maybe rich, but also just has the right connections. Just a
I
kingmaker.
struggle to see how Bill Gates is not literally one of the most powerful people alive. He has to be.
He is filthy rich, but
There's probably other more powerful people behind the scenes. Like,
Well,
like
what means power? Does money not mean power in this situation? How can you have
connections?
But, I mean, but Jackson, think about it this way. I mean, how often have you heard Jeffrey Epstein's name before he killed himself or before he was arrested? He was pretty much just in the background, even though, you know, he was fucking molesting kids with the world's most powerful people, and yet you had never heard of him.
Yeah, but
I think most of them are just like that. It's probably just Saudi princes.
But he was a
and shit.
puppet of powerful people, right? That's the entire point.
So to be fair to Jackson's point, Epstein also had a net worth of $560 million when he died. He was also very, very rich and a big player in that.
He was filthy rich. And again, the suspicious thing is nobody knows where the fuck he got his money. No one knows what he actually did. If I ask any of you guys, do you know what he did? Like, as a job? As a day job when he's not fucking kids?
I think he was in travel. He owned a plane or something. That's as far as I know.
He flew the plane.
He was a pilot.
He was the pilot, yeah. He flew to the island. He was one hell of an airline stewardess.
He offered vacation packages.
He sold condos and timeshares.
On his island.
Yeah, to the people while they were there.
30 days a year, you can fuck a kid.
Brave take. Happy he's dead. Happy he's dead. Let's just...
Wow, what a hot take, Jackson.
I'm not.
Yep.
I really am not.
Okay.
I wish he was alive to, like, spill the beans, but no, I mean, you know, quote-unquote killed himself, so...
But he wouldn't spill the beans. That's what we're saying. Like, Bill Gates isn't spilling the beans. No one is.
Well, Jeffrey Epstein, it was his whole operation that, like...
Bill Gates was fucking the kids.
What?
They all played their part.
Allegedly.
Bill Gates wasn't the one that got fucking arrested. He was. Like, he was absolutely in a position to just start squealing.
Yeah, yeah, true.
Didn't Bill Gates' wife allegedly leave him because of his connections to Epstein? I remember reading a rumor like that where people close to him...
After it became public.
I think the official story is Bill Gates divorced his wife after that happened.
He blamed her. You bitch, you set me up with Epstein.
You're not young anymore, Melinda.
Yeah.
No, that sucks.
No, but their organization does great things for the world, thanks.
Okay, what else we got? What happened this week?
We have fit bodies.
Oh, we do.
Okay.
Yeah.
Tell us about our fit bodies.
Let's just lay the cards on the table here. This is a more important discussion than anything we could say on this fucking episode. It is January. Classic fuck you, it's January. Cold weather rolls in, all the movies are terrible. Everything just kind of is over because all the hype of the holiday seasons is gone. And something that you'll notice is your local gym is going to fill with people who don't know what they're doing. This is a real documented phenomenon. People sign up in January, and something like, God, I Googled it last night just for fun. It's like 70% of new gym memberships in January don't make it past a month. Something ridiculous. Probably more than that. The point is, if you're going to be part of that crowd, a lot of you out there are, do it smart. Use Fitbod. Don't do all the guesswork. Don't try to do all the work yourself in the beginning, especially if you don't know what you're doing. Don't try to figure out an appropriate fitness plan or schedule, or just try to understand all of these concepts that you're brand new to. Why bother having to read a whole dictionary of athletic terms and workouts and all this stuff, when instead you could install Fitbod, which is the fitness app that will give you workout programs, tell you what you need to be doing, help you track every facet of your fitness, and help motivate you to get your tiny little buns into that gym, young man. I like Fitbod personally because it will give you substitutions for workouts as well. Let's say you're not feeling like doing something that's particularly annoying or not pleasant, or you want to change things up, you can substitute whatever workout you have within your plan on the fly on a day-to-day basis and kind of just tailor it to whatever you want to be doing. It takes into account your experience level, your equipment level, everything relevant to your fitness plan. You can even tell it to say, hey, I want to work out at home and use my home gym or just do cardio, and it will still adjust itself accordingly. I really like Fitbod. I think it's just super simple and easy and convenient. And now that January is rolling around, you need to prove that you are better than everyone else by sticking with your fitness regimen and not giving up like those losers that go and just don't use Fitbod. Add Fitbod to your workout essentials. Join Fitbod today and get your personalized workout plan. Get 25% off of your subscription or try the app for free at fitbod.me/official. That's fitbod.me/official for 25% off your subscription, or you can also just try the app for free at fitbod.me/official. Now, the cool thing about gyms as well that a lot of people might not realize is that many of them have a members Wi-Fi. While you're there pumping your iron and following your new plan, you can connect to the internet and browse stuff and watch movies and, I don't know, maybe look up the Epstein List and go, oh, thank God I'm not on there. Better get swole to make sure no one suspects me because only nerds are on there. But while you're looking at that list and all these other terrible obligations, are you really going to do it unprotected? That would be a very, very silly adventure now, wouldn't it? Just looking up controversial things on the internet without any sort of data encryption. Well, ExpressVPN is going to solve that issue for you. When you go online without a VPN, internet service providers can see every single website that you visit, no matter how by the books, no matter how innocuous, or no matter how questionable. I won't pry into your taste, but what I will pry into is the fact that you're also probably paying for streaming services without getting each and every part of what your subscription pays for. Change your region with ExpressVPN and watch all the stuff that Netflix and Hulu and all those companies don't have the rights to in your country. It's really game-changing when you can watch every single part of Netflix, for example. There are just so many great movies and shows that are not available in, knowing the majority of our audience, America or Britain or Australia. Give it a try. Just try it out. See what's out there. And you'll be pleasantly surprised. Encrypt your data. Set it up on all your devices. There's an app for mobile devices. You just push a button and it fires up instantly. It's really simple, unlocks content for you, and protects your information. Secure your online activity by visiting expressvpn.com/official today. That's expressvpn.com/official, and you can get an extra 3 months for free. expressvpn.com/official, 3 months for free. Unlock everything on the internet and don't let yourself miss out. expressvpn.com/official.
Nice. Fantastic.
Did you guys have topics, or should I pull one out of my butt?
Well, wait, I've just real quick, before we end on the fucking Epstein list, I just looked up the list, and Bruce Willis is on it.
Oh, no.
Fucking Willis.
He probably doesn't even remember being there.
Yeah, that's so mean.
It's true. That's fucked up, isn't it?
You think he read it in the newspaper and he was surprised?
He was shocked. He was like, oh, God.
I'm a pedophile?
God, what a horrible life.
Was his name in the flight logs, Jackson, or from the new documents?
I'm not sure. It just says, here is the full list of people named in Epstein's files.
It says they're only passively mentioned. Not that they're like buddies, I guess.
The flight logs are the important ones. The new documents are more just further evidence. So a lot of names that pop up in there, like Al Gore, is them asking the victim, did you see Al Gore? No. Did you see George Lucas? No.
Wait, so they're just going down like the top 100 celebrities? Yeah, what the hell?
There was a lot of moments like that. Yeah. Cameron Diaz, like one of the questions, or two of the questions back to back was, did you ever see Cameron Diaz? The victim answered no. Did you ever see George Lucas? The victim answered no. But their names are mentioned there now. So that's why they'd pop up there.
Was there any reason for doing that? Were they just literally shooting in the dark?
People are just assholes. That's really it. On Reddit, one of the trending things was Trump named in the Epstein flight logs. And then you actually look at the page and it's like, was Trump on this island? And the girl says no. And that's it. That's the mention of him.
It's also
the headline makes it to the
David
front page.
Copperfield, though. You did bring up David Copperfield. His situation is a little different because apparently David Copperfield was at least privy to young girls recruiting other girls there. There was like a quote from him where he called attention to it. So it seemed like he definitely knew more than most people did and did nothing. So David Copperfield is a little more evil.
There's also, Jackson, the really scummy idea of the prosecution implanting ideas with those questions. So if you ask the question, for example, did you see anyone else there? Are you sure you didn't see anyone? Can you think of anyone? That doesn't really lead anywhere. But if I say, did you see George Lucas? Then they're going to think, well, maybe I overheard something that sounded like it puts the idea at least to a little degree.
Why would the prosecutor do that unless they like hated Star Wars or like hated whoever they were talking about?
Maybe
like,
they want to target certain celebrities. Maybe they just want to. Who knows what the fucking idea behind it is? That's what I'm thinking is why they're doing that.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I feel like they can't shoot in the dark. I feel like they have to be chasing up on something in order to ask it. They're prosecutors, right? These are lawyers.
To be fair, if I was a lawyer, I'd also go, have you seen Jackson Clarke? To the stenographer as I scream at her, write that down, sweetie. Jackson Clarke.
With how fucking heinous this trial is, if I was the prosecutor, I'd pull out the phone book and go, did you see Aaron A. Aronson there?
Every person I've ever had a grudge against.
The trial would take 7,000 days because I'd want to make sure I got each and every name on that list.
Would you guys do that to anyone? Do you have arch enemies? Any of you?
No, I would never accuse like my worst enemy of being a pedophile. Believe it or not.
Well, you're not accusing. You're just asking questions, quote unquote.
Oh well, yeah. If it was just a question, then yeah, sure, why not?
You're just asking highly suggestive questions that seemingly don't have anything to do with it.
The point is just putting them in the PDF, thus incepting the idea that they are pedophiles, even if they aren't.
Yeah, the Trump example from Kaya is a perfect example. Even if it's absolutely nothing, the fact his name is associated with it is just bad press and drums up stuff.
Yeah, but of course
his name was also in the initial flight logs too. He was also in there as a flyer.
But it's a great example where if we can use any name that had nothing to do with it, like Cameron Diaz. Like, it just puts her name in association with it, even if she had absolutely nothing to do with it, you know?
Well, she should have never visited the island then.
That's true. Shame on her.
People do the same thing where they, like, post photos of people with Ghislaine at various parties where she's just in the background, like, photobombing people, and they're like, this you? Like, it's rich people gathering. I mean, obviously they were going to run into each other. That doesn't mean they know each other, but, you know, still.
Yeah, the guilt by association is pretty cringe, but also
guilt by association as a flyer, I think, is totally reasonable. I just can't imagine you flying on Epstein's fucking flights like the Lolita Express and not know what's happening.
100%. Yeah, I was talking about the parties that he was just talking about.
Yeah.
Yeah, it wasn't only to the island, but on his flights, didn't he have like the child masseuses, like where Matt Groening got a foot massage?
Yeah.
Oh, I forgot about that.
Yeah, Matt Groening was one of the real big first ones that people named for getting a foot massage.
Him and his nasty fucking feet.
So did anything come from that? That specifically? No?
Nope. He's still doing just fine from what I can tell.
Okay. It seems kind of weird, kind of shady.
Yeah, I just feel like if you're flying on there, you knew. Like, you had to know something.
Oh, yeah. Especially if you're a frequent flyer.
Yeah.
I mean, Copperfield was literally flexing, apparently, his knowledge on the women from the...
To be fair, he's a magician.
I mean, apparently he was doing magic tricks at dinner, the girls said. During their testimony, she said we had dinner and he was doing magic tricks.
He's dedicated to his craft.
He slipped in something like, hey, did you know, by the way, all these girls, they're like recruiting even younger girls. Isn't that cool?
I could see it as part of the act. Copperfield goes, what if I told you I knew the secrets of Epstein's plane? I'll reveal them right after this.
Oh. And the reveal is pedophilia?
Yeah, he pulls the curtain back and it's just a sign that says pedophiles. Ta-da.
Just a bunch of chained up, starving children.
photos he took with them, just waving his magic fingers at them. Behold.
It's like a card.
At least Chris Angel's not on the list. That would have hurt. That one would have hurt.
Aw. Is there anyone, Jackson, that were like you would have been genuinely sad if you saw their name on the list?
Probably Leslie Nielsen. I feel like that would have been sad.
Oh, that actually would have been tragic. Yeah,
yeah, because he would have been like alive during the peak of it, and that would have hurt. Yeah, or like Steve Irwin, maybe. Steve Irwin would have been awful too.
Oh God,
fuck, that would have been another awful one. Yeah,
there's a lot of awful ones. Yeah, but then there's some that are like not surprising. Like there's Michael Jackson, where it's like, yeah, that makes sense.
What years did this take place?
one of you asked before. I don't know. I think up until he got arrested, pretty much.
Yeah, it was probably like 90 through to 2006 or 2009, probably. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
What about you guys? Would you have been hurt?
Really made me sad.
Would you have heard? I mean, been upset by any?
Brendan Fraser for me.
Brendan Fraser.
I'd probably be really upset if I saw Jackson Clarke on that list. It'd really devastate me.
No one would be more upset than me. Trust me.
No, I'd be pretty upset, Jackson. Let's not undersell it. Like, I'd be pretty devastated. You know, you'd probably just not care.
That would
You'd
be an
like,
awkward conversation.
Why don't they put that, like, put people's names on the list that they just don't like? Like, just some random fucking dude like Ted Neverson or something. Just like some random dude that's not even like a public
David
figure.
McDuff. That's my arch nemesis. I want to put him in there.
just to fuck with people.
I'd assume there were people on that list who are just nobodies, but why publish the name? What does it mean to anyone publicly?
Well, they have to publish the names.
We should know. Yeah, we have a right to know.
No, I'm sorry. I don't mean don't publish it. I mean, like, it's not going to make the news and the tabloids and the big headlines because people aren't going to care. They'll just put them on the list.
Yeah,
no one's going to be talking about it. Yeah.
It's not scandalous enough. Bill Gates is exciting because the rich man. But
let's lay down the cards on the table. The whole big reason this isn't anything is it's all the celebrities. If this happened and it was just random rich dudes, it'd be a story. It would definitely be a story, but it would not nearly have the fervor that it does.
Mm-mm.
Oh, 100%. Yeah.
Yeah.
Even with pedophilia, we want handsome actors and shit to get caught.
Yeah, exactly. Our primary targets. Handsome actors.
Another big thing happened this week, though, that I want Andrew to talk about specifically because this is in his realm. You still like Magic, don't you?
No, not anymore.
No,
I have not played in a long time.
Yeah. What caused your drop?
So there's two sides to this coin of why I don't like Magic. Like, one is kind of a opinion on the company who runs it, and then the other half is the game itself. And the main reason I don't play anymore is I don't think the game is very good anymore. I think they've just kind of tanked it with terrible design choices. And, you know, so with Magic being a card game, there's new sets that come out, new sets of cards that change the formats and the tournaments and the play and all that stuff, kind of like updates in a game. And it's like, imagine all those sets and updates just made the game worse and worse and more unbalanced and more unfun. And that's kind of what I think happened to Magic.
You didn't like the My Little Pony Transformers mashup cards?
You know, yeah, not the best thing. I think what did the nail in the coffin for me was Post Malone in the Magic universe. Really thought that was the dumbest goddamn thing I'd ever seen.
That's way cool. That's way cool.
Well, it wasn't like a whole set. It was just 2 cards.
I know, but I hate the idea of Magic becoming like the Marvel universe or the Fortnite universe where everything has to come in. You know?
But they were doing it way before Post Malone. Like, they had entire sets for fucking Transformers and Street Fighter and Lord of the Rings. And
Transformers was not a set. It was a few promo cards. But even then, they were a high fantasy crafted world for 25 years before they did any of this shit. Like, if it came out of the gate doing this, I wouldn't care.
Walking Dead.
Walking Dead was the one that started it and was actually one of the biggest problems because the Walking Dead card that came out warped entire tournaments and was a Walking Dead promo exclusive.
It's totally fine for Andrew to have a problem with this, I think.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, no. It's not like it was just that one. It wasn't like
no. That's my personal hate. Like, I just don't like Post Malone, and I think just having him is stupid. I understand franchises like Walking Dead. Okay, there's zombies and characters. Transformers, there's giant mechs and characters. Post Malone is just, there he is. It's a guy. It's the rapper
Famous
Post
man.
Malone. Like, it's just the lamest one in my opinion. But
well, it's just like he's a real dude,
right.
Whereas the other things are at least
this ties to the other side of the coin, where I think they're ruining, like the company is ruining their own image. Like they had this incredible, well-developed fantasy world for 25 years, and then because they need more money, they go, what if we threw Spider-Man in there and Gandalf and Twilight Sparkle? And like, I'm not a fan of that at all. I think it ruined the aesthetic. That's not the point. That's not what happened. That's my own personal opinions. What happened recently is Magic decided to release promotional art for a new upcoming set of cards, and the background of which very clearly used AI. Very, very clearly.
Do you have a link to the AI art? So they used AI to make some background art and people got angry, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's it. Okay.
I don't have a link on hand, but I did look it up a few days ago.
I can grab it.
Yeah, people will probably post it in our chat as well.
Yes, please.
But they posted a picture promoting a new set of cards coming out, and it used AI, like very clearly, very, very obvious. Lots of weird inconsistencies a human would never do. Lots of like mistakes that make no sense if someone drew it. Very obvious. And everyone was like, hey, this is AI. Like, don't do AI. You, Magic, specifically promised that you would never use AI, because a big part of Magic, a big selling point of Magic is they employ hundreds of artists to work on their cards, and they hand draw or digitally hand draw all this stuff, and they make these big elaborate art pieces that become cards and all of this shit. And they even said to the fans, we won't use AI in our stuff. And what ended up happening is they released this promo art that used AI, and they got caught. And their immediate knee-jerk response was, it's not AI. A guy drew this.
Yeah.
It's not AI. We swear to you, it's not AI. How dare you say that it's AI?
My friend Dolly drew it.
Yeah. No way. No way. And then about a day and a half later, they said, okay, yeah, it's AI. We made a mistake. Sorry about that. Oopsie. Oopsie whoopsie.
So I believe that they probably, like, whoever is in charge, the leadership team, probably honestly believed that it wasn't AI generated art, and it went through like the chain of commands. Maybe like some artist that was commissioned to do the piece, like snuck it in or something.
Yeah, or just a marketing team cutting corners and
now the shoe kind of hits on the other foot, where we make fun of Magic players because they're not a great group of people either. So what most likely happened is this is just incompetence and a failure of chain of command. There's probably a guy who made this promo image, like an intern or whatever, whipped it up and went, okay, yeah, looks good. Or they contracted an artist to make it, and he used what a lot of people think it is generative fill from Photoshop, which uses AI by default. And it just fills in backgrounds and touches things up. So he probably used AI like as a tool, in Photoshop, not generating the images fully or any of that. And then people got pissed, and the chain of command probably like didn't even look at this image, just put it out, said, yeah, put it, you have to make a promo image for this set, just put it on the Twitter, who cares? But what a lot of Magic fans are thinking and writing about, for example, I saw a lot on the subreddit, is it's a conspiracy. It's the company trying to sneak AI art into their products so that people will be okay with it and ignore it. And it's like, no, that's definitely not what's going on. Why would they do it with such a stupid, blatant move? Like,
yeah.
But there's conspiracy after conspiracy.
I think if they did do that, people wouldn't really notice. They might have their suspicions, but I mean, Not everyone's going to look at a card and go, yeah, definitely AI.
If they were to do that, they'd be doing it now. They'd be far more subtle about it. They'd like have a nothing card or a few cards with it in the background, but hid well. This AI is blatant. If you look at this photo and you see any of the parts that show it's AI, it's really obvious. They wouldn't use this for a giant promotional image, you know?
What makes me believe that it's not conspiratorial is the fact that they came out straight away and were like, no, it's not AI. It's like they seem pretty confident.
That too,
if they were like trying to hide it or whatever, I don't think they would have replied and they would have just deleted the post or something.
Do you think they went around the office like, hey, who drew this? Raise your hand. And then nobody did. And it was just awkward silence. Guys, who drew this?
There's a good chance someone got fired for this, man.
Where did it come from?
Kicked out the
door. They genuinely don't know where it came from. It was just like delivered.
Yeah.
Email. Why did we post this?
It's a big slop mess all around. You now have players who are like, oh, fuck Wizards. I can't believe they did this at all. And then you have others who say that it's just incompetence, just stupid. But the biggest thing that has happened is one of their, I've misplaced his name somewhere. But one of their most high profile artists who draws a lot of stuff for them and does really great art has said that because of this, he's quitting the company. And just flat out leaving and never working for them again.
All because of the AI debacle?
Yep, just because of this AI thing.
Oh, wow.
That's
big.
Yeah,
that does seem like a bit of an overreaction to me. Like if it was genuinely
especially if it wasn't on purpose.
Right.
Yeah.
So that's where it gets interesting. Sorry, Kai, go ahead.
I don't even blame the person who did this. I was just going to say, if it's just some like marketing intern and they just told him, look, you don't do this, okay? From now on, let it slip. Let it slide. It's not that big of a deal. It's not really the end of the world. They didn't fucking tweet child porn from Epstein's archives. It was just a fucking AI art.
If it was an honest mistake, it does seem like a bit of an overreaction.
If it was an honest
mistake,
mistake,
coming from an artist as well that was employing AI art tools, the artist is still being paid and still producing an image at the end of the day, right?
And that's where...
Yeah, and also where do you draw the line?
Yeah, that's where clarity on all this would help, No, it's all good. That's where clarity on this would all help, because their statement never specified, oh, we had an artist who used this generative tool and didn't know, or, oh, we meant to not, fill that in later and use the wrong one. There's none of that. All they said is at first, oh, it's not AI, and then they said, sorry, it is AI, we shouldn't have done that. There's no explanation of what actually happened, which I think would help a lot,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Well, like you guys said, these tools are built into Photoshop now, like the replace button or the fucking patchwork tool, usually called in some software. Where like, okay, I took a selfie, I want to remove the boat in the background or something, and nowadays it uses AI. So how much of that is allowed to be used now in art?
Right.
Is it okay if 20% of the pixels are AI made and I drew the rest?
Right.
21%? Where do you draw the line? What is allowed? What isn't allowed?
Yeah, that's definitely a big discussion. I found the artist, by the way, Dave Raposa. Dave Raposa has drawn a bunch of art for Magic, as well as Dungeons and Dragons, which is owned by the same parent company. And he has emailed a resignation and has quit the entire company over this. So they lost a pretty big name in their roster. I don't know if everyone's quitting in mass, but it still hurts them for sure. Definitely hurts their image.
I get it, like he wants to slap his dick on the table, but at the same time, like it's been a day or whatever. It's very recent. It seems like a giant overreaction. Like let them explain themselves at least.
Yeah, that's true. Well, maybe he's privy to some information that we're not.
Potentially, or maybe he just wanted to quit. This was just his ticket out. Well, looking like a good guy.
Yeah, or maybe he got an email from a higher up saying, fuck you, Dave. Suck my cock. We're going to AI everything from now on. You fucking bitch.
What if they email Dave and say, hey, we already put you into Dolly, so we really just don't even need you around anymore.
I just say magic elf woman in the style of David Raposa. And it generates it. You're fired.
Dave, we don't need you. We have AI. That was the whole point. You're not paying attention.
Okay, I'm going to segue this into AI unemploying even more people. Have you guys seen the Duolingo news? Do you guys use Duolingo for anything?
Yeah, I actually do.
My girlfriend has been learning Japanese on Duolingo for like 2 straight years every single day. She uses that app every day of her life.
That is perfect because I have a weep topic coming up too. So Duolingo, what happened is they laid off some of their contract translators. From what I understand is they had a bunch of people on staff. You submit a contract and they translate it if you're like in international business, right? Mm-hmm. Because they are being replaced with AI. So the remaining members, all they do is now they just basically proofread AI translations, and people are very angry about this because lots of people lost their jobs to this. And they are not the only translators who are losing their jobs to this, because apparently, I don't know if you guys saw, my timeline has been on fire about a week ago. The weebs and anime translators are in a war. In a very hot guerrilla war, because apparently...
I didn't even know there was a difference.
Is this the localization debacle?
Yes, the localization debacle. So, from what I understand, you can correct me, you know this stuff probably better than I do, but apparently anime translators are kind of shitty and assholes, and they just like to inject their own politics into stuff. So they'll take an anime, completely unrelated to anything. It'll be like a slice of life anime and just a little girl doing her homework or something. And randomly the subtitles will read, "Oh, this is just like Gamergate. I hate fucking toxic masculinity." And they will interject this shit into every anime to the point that apparently it's so bad that people make their own bootleg pirated subtitles that you can torrent and download rather than reading the official ones. And people are sick of this. And apparently anime studios have begun just using AI translations now and subtitling for their work, which has the localizers in a tiff. They're very angry. How much of this did you see, Andrew?
So what I've seen is examples floating around and people discussing when it's bad. The basic idea is, yeah, the localizers and translators, they do it for a multitude of reasons. There's definitely the political angle. Some of them also do it to try to be funny. And one that I've seen a lot of people complain about as well is they insert like memes or dated references to make jokes land, and it just dates the game and makes them really, really bad. But yeah, basically they're kind of inserting their own writing into the translation rather than adapting the original writing faithfully, and then people get up in arms because they go, this is not the original story or characters, you're making your own shit up, you know?
Can I read this example of one of the translators going rogue?
Sure.
So there's this. So this is the Japanese like direct translation. It's a woman in a JRPG saying, "I can easily, quickly, and thoroughly defeat a stupid old man," and then the localization says, "This is meant to be a translation, but this is what the localizers have done. Underestimate me and I'll thrash you before you can say adult diaper, you dour-faced fart factory. That'll leave you with plenty of time to make it to senior discount night at the country buffet." That's 1-to-1.
That line is so much better. I'm on their side now. They killed it. The fart factory goes hard.
But adult diaper. And then there's like lines where, like Andrew said, they just insert memes like, "I'm gonna yeet this taco at you, PogChamp."
Yeah,
it's like, what? This is definitely not how that Japanese man wrote this fucking anime. I bet you're lying, aren't you?
That's my issue. It kind of seems disrespectful to the original artistic intent.
Oh, it is
right?
extremely disrespectful. Yes, and their attitude is. I saw one tweet. I don't know if I have the screenshot, but it said something like, "Oh, if you don't know multiple languages, then butt out. You don't get to have an opinion on this because you can't directly translate. You have to make it palatable to the to different audiences." It's okay. As somebody who does know different languages, that's retarded. You can directly translate stuff, and if people don't understand I don't know, like a Japanese colloquialism, they can look it up.
Yeah,
we all have Google on our phones. We can just Google it. If you say something like a Japanese term or some sort of a saying, a proverb, I can just Google it. I don't need you to fucking throw in Yeet and Gamergate references in 2023.
So good localization adapts the work in a way that the audience understands without losing the original meaning. There's
Yakuza.
Yakuza is a great example. There's another specific example I remember. There's an Atlas game, the guys who made Persona. I forgot what game it is, but there's an NPC in the English version that you can meet in the town. And the character goes, "Look at all the lovely snow. there's so much snow around. I really like the snow. And then in parentheses, the character says, this is what happens when you just do direct translations. And it's because in the original Japanese, he's making a bunch of puns on how snowy it is in town. But that doesn't work in English because it's not going to have the same puns as the Japanese language. So what a good localization would do is make some puns in English or some other kind of joke that relates to the snow, something that keeps the tone and idea the same.
Within the same tone, yeah.
They wouldn't put a reference like, wow, look at this white Christmas, I better do some cocaine, or like a different kind of joke. Something that ruins
it. Has to stay the same artistic intent, like I was saying before. It has to like still fit the character, the scene, the story, everything like that. But the problem with some of these localizations is that they go so far out of left field. Like again, I can easily, quickly, and thoroughly defeat a stupid old man becomes something about fart factories and adult diapers. Like,
so I don't know how much you guys are into it, but I know. So translation in general seems to be really drama ridden. I keep up. This is gonna sound very.
Everything
niche,
is.
I keep up with classical Russian literature translator community drama, where like these people, they have the same argument: is okay, do we translate Dostoevsky like literally, every single word just as it is written in Russian, or do we make it more palatable to English speakers? Changing some of the sayings and such, so an American can understand it. Again, I don't think you have to. You don't have to dumb it down for me. You don't have to like throw in McDonald's jokes so I understand my feeble American brain.
It's a very difficult question to answer sometimes. Another great example is JoJo's Bizarre Adventure. In part 3, there's a character who, so obviously the original's Japanese, but he's American or British. And the whole point is that when he's frustrated, he curses in English. So you have this whole cast speaking Japanese and they all speak Japanese, but then when something happens, he'll go like, holy shit, or son of a bitch. And the joke is, it's just out of nowhere English cursing. So when they're all speaking English in the English localization and dub, how do you translate that? How does that joke still land? Yeah, does he start cursing in Japanese? But he's not Japanese. The joke is he's an English guy in Japan. That's the joke. So it becomes a hard thing of how do you not lose the original spirit of the characters while also localizing and adapting the script. And it's very tough to do well. And then the problem is people fuck it up and go, well, what if he said, oh, this is worse than Gamergate, and shit like that. That just sucks. Yeah.
So these people are now losing their jobs to AI translations, and honestly, good. I'm sorry, but if you're losing your job because you're just inserting your own opinions into this shit, and then they get so angry about it too, like they're owed a job. That's what always gets me about you want to feel bad for them, but then they get so entitled about it, as if they are owed a job, or as if the company owes, like, I have to employ. How dare you fire me? That sort of an attitude. Like, what the fuck? You will get translation, or you will be replaced. That's as simple as that, really.
Would it be cool if we incentivize companies not to use AI, like somehow? Because there is no necessarily there's no legislation that demands, or no responsibility on the company's part to only use human people, and that's the issue for the future with AI. Would it be a smart idea to incentivize companies to instead keep using humans, and that's how we combat this?
Yeah, or at least, you can't just have all of it be done by AI. Because let's say if you took all of the literature and have it translated just by AI, I think at some point you're going to be able to tell. Because it's the same AI. It's going to talk the same and write the same, You don't want that. You don't want something that static. I do like different translators translating stuff in their own styles. And I think we talked about it on a bonus. I don't know if Charlie was here, but I do think in the future we're going to see that label on video games and movies saying human-made, handmade, no AI.
Yeah.
Just like the non-GMO stickers.
Made with love, yeah.
Yeah, not necessarily labels, but definitely marketing and stuff on Twitter and the public company image, all that shit, for sure.
I think it will be on labels. You're going to see that at Whole Foods. Not at Walmart's, but at Whole Foods. You'll see a DVD row.
This banana is real. We did not 3D print this banana.
Banana is AI made.
Actually grown.
Would the human made stuff then require a higher price tag in comparison to the AI stuff?
Well, currently we have
it already does.
Organic food that's less processed, allegedly, currently has a higher price tag than factory farm stuff.
And think marketing always brags about handmade.
I feel like there should be some kind of legislation made where, like, if a company does utilize AI in some capacity that is obviously intended to replace human workforce, then they should be required to pay money into some kind of fund, and then gets paid to like fired employees or whatever.
That's called tax, though. Like, why? Okay, why single AI out? Why not machines in general? Like the Industrial Revolution put people out of business.
Yeah,
what about Photoshop? If you use Photoshop in your marketing at all, you have to put it on your. You have to tell us with a disclaimer.
You have to disclose that it's photoshopped. Yeah.
I just feel like AI in general is such, like, we could still find work when machines became prevalent, like industrialization. But AI is just something that is going to impact pretty much everyone.
A decent example of that.
We've had this conversation a lot.
A decent example, I can steer the topic to something new. A decent example of that shaping an entire industry is, I don't know if they do it in America, but certain countries ban digital altered images in food commercials because they find it misleading. So there's now entire industries of using real food to make like incredible looking shots and things that look digital and 3D and all this shit, and they're super elaborate. They design actual robots with timing and intricate camera movements, and it's all practical effects, and it looks incredible, but it's not digital. It's real food. It's technically edible, but would you eat that specific?
Technically edible.
Yeah.
Put that on the marketing.
It's exactly. It's this weird gray loophole area, because it's like, there's one that I saw that was an incredible example. It's a s'mores commercial. It's like a chocolate commercial, I think. And the whole point is they want to have this s'mores sandwich dramatically come together, and all the chocolate smushes out and the marshmallows get smushed. So they had these robot arms that do it with perfect timing to a camera movement of mashing these real ingredients together. And that s'more sandwich technically is edible, but would you eat that specific sandwich? Probably not. It's been smashed together by metal robot arms, but it doesn't break the law. It is edible. It's made of food. It's real food in a commercial. Shit like that. I think we're going to start seeing in other industries.
Just an extension of like consumer protection laws or false advertising. That should fall under that. I agree. I would be in favor of those kind of laws where, like, okay, if you're showing me this, then that's actually what I want to get, not a smushed fucking burger.
But that's been the case with fast food forever.
Oh man, you just beat me to it. There's active lawsuits right now that I've talked about quite a bit where they're being sued because the item they get doesn't match the marketing they see. So Taco Bell's getting it really bad from one guy. He even brought in like an exhibit, like, if we compare my Gordita Supreme Crunch or whatever compared to what they advertised on TV, you can see I'm missing 60% meat compared to this. Thus, I have been misled and lied to as a consumer. And that's been going on for the last year or so against some major fast food chains like Taco Bell. So I do think it's pretty interesting because he's not wrong. He's not getting what's being advertised.
And that's because a lot of the... Have you guys ever seen how they make those commercials to make those images?
Yeah, it's heavily like...
It is nuts.
Obviously.
It's not even food anymore, man. It's like plastic and fake stuff.
It's not like it's coming off the grill from like some 16-year-old part-timer at fucking Hungry Jack's. Well, whatever it's called.
I watched an older one. They might have changed the law based on that consumer protection shit, but I watched an older one of how they did burgers in commercials, and the woman's like, I take a ground beef patty, and I only cook it enough to give it grill marks. Then I spray it with this brown spray to make it look done and delicious. Then I cut the back half off and stretch it out so the part that faces the camera looks twice as big, and it's like, oh my God. It's fucking Frankenstein together. It's awesome.
God, it looks delicious.
It does. It's impressive, man. Though. It's really impressive.
Yeah. I wish that the fucking fast food meals came out the way that they were advertised, but like I've obviously never believed that that's ever going to be the case.
No, it can't be. It will never be the case.
Yeah, it would cost way too much money and time for them to do that. It's fast food for a reason.
Are you guys not experiencing like a fast food like breakdown over in the States as well? Because over here, Fast food is like fast food is like just as expensive as going to eat at like a cafe or a restaurant.
Oh, you're talking about pricing? Yeah, no.
Yeah.
Fast food is not as cheap as it once was. I was talking about this the other day with a buddy of mine. To just eat a McDonald's meal, like a full meal, is about as much as just eating at like a decent spot. So why not just eat at the decent spot?
I don't understand why I haven't felt the drive to eat there at all.
Jackson, we had this exact topic, I think, on a bonus a few weeks ago, but in certain cities in California and high population areas, a meal at McDonald's is over $20 just for one meal. And that's exorbitant more expensive with what Charlie was saying. Go to a local Mexican or Asian restaurant and just buy a giant platter of food. Yeah.
Plus, it's more delicious and you probably get more food and it's yummier. Like, sure, it might not come out as quick, but I don't know why anyone is eating at fast food anymore. Like, I could get it when it was cheap, when you could get a burger for like $4 or from the dollar menu. Like, we used to have the $2 menu where you could pay $2 and get a cheeseburger, and that was pretty good. No way you're getting that.
We're
now.
lazy.
See, now we're even more fuck. I remember when I was a kid, it was the dollar menu. I remember when I was a kid, you could go to McDonald's and get a cheeseburger for 39 cents. You could get 3 of those for $1. Now, what's a fucking cheeseburger at McDonald's? $2 minimum for like their most basic food item? Jeez Louise.
Yeah, well, to be fair, I was using Australian dollars then, so that was probably about the same.
Oh, that is probably very
We have the
different,
same experience.
Yeah.
Fake dollars.
I remember a movie that I used to watch when I was growing up. I think it was called Harold and Kumar's Adventure to White Castle or something, and it made me always want to eat at White Castle because those burgers look so fucking yum. And I don't know, is it a real thing in America?
Yes, White Castle's a real restaurant.
That was my dad's favorite restaurant for a long time.
Oh, really?
White Castle was literally the first fast food restaurant ever invented. It predates McDonald's.
Oh, really?
Yeah, by a little bit. They were the first one to get the whole assembly line food order thing down.
So how is it? Have you guys eaten there?
It's not great.
I haven't.
It's not good.
No, it's
like
not.
you can eat it and you won't get sick, but you're not going to be happy about it.
You won't get sick, but Jackson, if you are a fan of hot farts, it will give you the hottest, stinkiest farts of the entire day. It's really good at that.
Jackson loves that.
So specific. Yeah.
That was like a fucking localization from Charlie's sentence.
Eat me those adult diapers.
Yeah. Oh, stinky in here like Gamergate, am I right?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Oh man, that's a shame. Was it ever good, or was it just like always fart juice?
My dad still swears by it. He loves White Castle.
Still?
He actually still buys. Yeah, he still buys the frozen White Castle patties. I don't know. I'll have to ask him.
Maybe he had it when it was in his prime, because the only couple times I've had it throughout my life, it was always just aggressively like less than mediocre.
Yeah, no, I completely agree. I think it's just nostalgia for my dad.
Mm-hmm.
Next time I'm coming over, we're all going to it, including your dad, though, because I need that. Like, it's a childhood dream, really.
Sure.
Okay.
Aww.
Yeah, I'll let him know. He'll be excited for White Castle.
Come around Thanksgiving, Jackson. We'll fatten you up.
Yeah, we'll spend Thanksgiving at White Castle.
Yeah, have a White Castle Thanksgiving. That's genius.
That's cute.
Yeah.
All right. Can I wedge this topic in here real quick? YadereDev apologized. Well, kind of.
Oh, yeah.
In a defensive video.
Right.
Who has watched it here? Any of you guys?
I watched the first 2 minutes just to see what happened and then clicked off. Give us the scoop.
Yeah. It is the definition of too little, too late. It seems like he is in the right. And he claims basically that, okay, all of it was well, he isn't in the right, but he said that a lot of the screenshots were fake. That people were spreading of him.
Some of them were, which we talked about.
Yeah, like the one where he's asking, I think a girl, if she got her period or something, and he says, "You're such a grown-up girl," or something creepy.
Oh, that one was
that's fake.
Yeah, we talked about that being fake.
No, we didn't. We definitely didn't. Are we like, what's the proof that he's offering to prove that it's fake?
Well, you can't prove a negative. I mean, it's up to you to prove that it is real. That's not on him.
Oh, okay.
But, I mean, he claims it's fake, to be fair. But the funny part to me was that he waited 2 months for this fucking video?
It was 3 months.
Yeah, and after like 3 fucking blog posts admitting all of it, by the way, where he wrote these long essays going, yeah, I'm sorry I did that. I'm kind of a creep. I'm a loser. I'm alone and lonely. So sometimes I talk to girls weird. And then 2 months later, he just drops this video going, actually, all of that was fake.
That's not really what the video is, though, to be fair. So he only talked about, that was like a pretty small piece, actually, that some of it was fake. Like the 12-year-old girl, did you get your period thing? Which I guess maybe we didn't talk about it, but I did mention that because it was proven on Twitter to be fake. But aside from that, most of the video is him just saying, like, it was weird. It's inexcusably weird. Like, he himself was still saying, again, it's weird, not that it's fake, and that he didn't mean anything sexual by it.
Doesn't he spend a lot of the video claiming that an unnamed YouTuber basically framed him?
Not framed him, but yes,
guided this girl to talk to me weird.
Yes, he did point that out, that a YouTuber was coaching a girl on how to make things weirder, so that way it would make him look worse. But he's not really.
But it's still his responsibility, right?
I don't know who he's talking about. I tried to figure that out too. I don't know who he's referring to.
Right, that was so frustrating. Like, who? Tell us. Like, name drop.
Yeah, that was the time to name drop.
Yeah, this isn't the time to be vague. People are accusing you of being a child molester. Fucking tell us who did this to you.
But even if someone was like pulling the strings behind the scene or whatever, he still
went along with
did it.
Yeah.
So was he on the Epstein list?
Yeah.
YadereDev
at the very top.
Not even his real name, just YadereDev.
His username.
That's why the fucking game took so long to be made. Just too busy on that fucking plane. Yeah. So he still admits that he like engaged in this way with like a 13, 14-year-old.
16-year-old, but yeah.
But again, he's like slyly shifting the blame. Again, the thing about the screenshots being fake, you have to give him that. Don't just spread fake bullshit. But again, the rest of the video, like 10 solid minutes of it, is him going, a YouTuber coached this girl into talking to me sexually. And I have to admit, I was in a bad headspace because I work on my video game so much for you guys that I was attracted to a 16-year-old girl. I had no choice. You see, it was this YouTuber, and he never fucking mentions it. Like, it's so frustrating to listen to it. Like, oh,
who is this YouTuber with this like secret power that makes?
Yeah, it's fucking Palpatine behind there going crazy, making her say all the things that make him look worse.
It's Epstein's Minecraft channel where he coaches young girls. I guess I don't know.
So who the fuck was it? Like, why? All right, so put yourself in his shoes. If you truly believe that there's a man out there like orchestrating your downfall, why would you not say his name? Why would you like?
He wasn't blaming him entirely. Like he again was saying it was super wrong and super weird the things he was saying and should have never said and engaged the way he did. But he did keep saying like, this YouTuber did make it worse and made me weirder. So, like, I don't know why he wouldn't say who it was.
Fuck, you should have pulled clips, Kaya. This sounds hilarious.
Huh?
I said you should have pulled clips. This sounds hilarious.
Oh, I'm sorry.
We still have a bonus to record tomorrow. Hint, hint, hint.
That's true. I could still pull some. Hint, hint. Patreon.com/theofficialpodcast.
Exactly, yeah. And then we just don't do it.
Yeah, let's not do it. Fuck it. I'm already bored. Fuck it.
To me, it didn't sound like he was taking any accountability at all. It's like he sounded like when drug addicts kind of shift the blame to their addiction, like when an alcoholic.
I'm not saying I'm not saying he was doing a good job of taking responsibility or anything. I'm just saying that he wasn't putting all of it on the YouTuber's shoulders.
Yeah.
He himself was also saying that he's a fucking weirdo.
Yeah, I mean, it always comes off as like, pity me. I'm so lonely.
Yeah.
I had no choice. Pity me. It's like, well, a lot of us are lonely, buddy.
In this case, I don't get why if he did do it, why would you even come out and make an apology video or whatever? Why would you even come out and say anything? Like, there's no benefit. There's nothing that you could possibly say that would come across as
it works
good
for his
in this
community.
situation.
Read the comments. The
comments are positive.
Yeah.
All right, never mind.
Thank you for re-uploading it. Why did evil... What?
Why did the evil
comments made by the victim? Apparently, Alexander's video was demonetized by YouTube. Who the fuck is Alexander?
That's him.
Is this him?
Maybe that's the YouTuber.
Oh.
No. Alexander isn't YadereDev's name Alexander?
I only know him as YadereDev. I don't even know he had a real name.
Yeah, he says his last name is Dev.
It's his legal name.
No, it is Alex. His name is Alex. Just Googled it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so what? The comments are entirely on his side.
Yes.
Well, to be fair, I assume he was deleting the negative ones, probably, right?
Oh yeah, he does that for his fucking forum. Yeah, could do.
What's the like to dislike ratio looking like?
Well, I'm looking at it on a mirror called Apology Archive, which... Is this a YouTube channel that just archives apology videos? Oh my god, it is. That's awesome!
That's fire.
Infinite content.
Oh, thank God. The true best parts of the internet all in one place.
There's only 5 up here. Oh wait, this channel's just started.
That's fucking awesome.
It's fucking Shane Dawson, Logan Paul, Mini Lad, and Colleen Ballinger.
Subscribing right now.
That's so fire.
They're all the exact same as well. The thumbnails are the exact same pretty much.
That's too funny. Holy fuck.
Man, it's down to a science.
This is exactly what that guy envisioned his channel would be when he started a YouTube channel. He was like, I need to fill the need of this audience.
Yeah, Apology Archive. If you ever hear this, we're instant fans. This is a brilliant idea. Thank you for your service.
Oh, fuck. Now he needs to start clipping them into shorts to get into the algorithm and blow this channel up.
Yeah. I don't like to use the word hero often, but this is one of those times.
Oh, that's too funny. Fuck.
He's literally going to have infinite content. It's like a new apology every 2 days.
Oh, man.
Oh, wait, speaking of apologies, didn't like Gerard, the completionist, come out with an apology as well?
Wow. Yeah, it's super late. That was like 2 weeks ago, but yeah.
Is it? We never talked about it.
Oh, the charity guy, yeah.
Didn't he recently do a stream on Twitch like a couple days ago?
He did. I don't know how it went, though, but he did do one.
Yeah, I only saw that he was doing it. I didn't see anything beyond that.
Yeah.
I haven't heard anything from it, so I'm guessing nothing came from it.
Okay.
Well, I think he mostly still denies everything.
Yes. Well, he has to legally. Like, he can't just say, yep, it was a scam.
When's he showing up on Apology Mirror?
Yeah, it'll be up there soon. Apology Archive.
Apology Archive.
Archive,
Yeah,
sorry.
24
sorry.
Get it
subscribers
right.
so
Give
far.
him the respect he deserves.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, he gained 6 subscribers from our live show here on
Yeah, you're
Discord.
welcome.
So, yeah.
That means we own 25% of his channel now.
This is what YouTube was designed for, really, when we think about it.
Yeah, that's great. Was there the... I don't know anything about this really, but Jackson, did you want to talk about the charity drama that came out this week?
The Softgiving one?
Yeah. I don't know anything about it, so I don't want to weigh into it, honestly.
Okay, never mind.
All I know is that there's drama with a few Twitch streamers using a charity platform that seems to have been taking a bit of the money off the top a little bit.
Well, that's generous. 42%.
Holy shit.
Again, I don't know the details, and yeah, wow, okay. So
Yeah.
so
So-
the way it works, they're kind of like a payment platform, like an intermediary between like the streamer's audience
GoFundMe?
base. Like the streamer's audience base pays donates. The donation money goes to Softgiving, and then Softgiving is meant to pay to the charities in question. They're taking
Beneficiary.
42%. That is so for every
Fuck.
for every dollar that their fans donated, 50% didn't go to charity. Well, almost 50%. That is fucked. I see. So the details, people are framing it as like OTK and all these influencers in on it or whatever, and that's the part that I don't know. So I don't know if it's like they just didn't do their due diligence.
Yeah, because people don't know if they knew, and also apparently they were paying for charity streams. Like Softgiving would pay streamers to do charity streams for them, but a lot of it's still not fully known. At least not as of the last time I read about it. So I'm sure more will come out though.
It's kind of gross that charity in of itself has become a business. I mean, it's always kind of been that way, but like there's someone profiting from this that's not in need, and that grosses me out. I remember a few years ago, I kind of got shit from you guys for saying that I didn't like where charity was heading in the internet space. Like, it was becoming a very like exploitative, and I got a bit of shit because like obviously it's still a good thing being done at the end of the day, right? Even if you're making content out of it, there's still a benefit to someone. But then it's leading to this kind of thing now where like people are going to stop trusting charity in general, or charities in general, or the act of giving in general.
To be fair, they should. I
100%.
believe it is extremely important to now do a ton of research on charities before ever donating to them because of how prevalent this has become. And also, sorry, but I just looked at the time. I do have to head out because I have to go somewhere by 2, and it's like a 30-minute drive.
That's fine.
Okay.
Do you want to leave and then? Oh, okay. We'll wrap up. I had more on the charity.
We can keep going. That's okay too. I didn't mean to trample on you.
We also have a bonus tomorrow, so another opportunity.
But yeah, we can continue this tomorrow. That's fine. Yeah.
Okay.
All right.
Yeah. Sorry about that.
No, it's all good. We'll talk about what we were just talking about in the future, maybe, if you guys were interested in hearing. If you're interested in hearing other stuff, though, patreon.com/theofficialpodcast for bonus episodes. Apparently, we're going to be releasing an episode where we go over the apology video from YadereDev. So look forward to that. That's going to be exciting. Other than that, we might go in more depth about the charity stuff tomorrow as well, because that does... I do want to talk about that in a bit more detail. Other than that, though, thank you guys for watching this episode, and thanks to the sponsors for sponsoring the episode. Really means a lot to have you all here with us. We appreciated it, and we'll see you next time.
Bye-bye.
Bye, everyone.
Bye-bye.